Do you love overlay mosaic crochet but don't like how it's just kind of striped in the back? Well, I've got a new blanket pattern for you, and it is reversible. That's right, I've used the negative stitch to create a reversible mosaic crochet blanket. Basically just the same as overlay mosaic crochet blankets I've done in the past, but we've added an extra stitch to make it reversible. So here's the back side of this swatch, and here's this one versus this one. I've got a tutorial to teach you how to turn any basic overlay mosaic crochet chart into a reversible pattern. You're going to need worsted weight yarn in a size G 4mm hook. Grab the free chart with the link down below, and let's get going. How are we going to turn this chart into a reversible pattern? Before we get going, please like this video and comment what are you excited to make learning this technique, and then subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that little bell so you're notified anytime I come out with any other yarn related content. You guys are the best. Let's get going learning how to do this technique. This video is how to turn just about any overlay mosaic crochet chart into a reversible pattern using the negative stitch. Here's the chart we're going to use to practice this negative stitch to make it reversible. Please note that different crocheters do their negative stitch a little bit differently. The way that I do mine uses up less yarn, and the front does look a little bit different than the back. If you are very new to overlay mosaic crochet, I would suggest starting with my tutorial that I have linked here. You need to already know the basics of overlay mosaic crochet in order to follow this tutorial. What do the blank boxes mean? What do the X's mean? All that. I have a video that walks you through this same chart to learn the basics of overlay mosaic crochet if this is new to you. But we are going to assume for this video that this is not new to you and you know what to do. So here I've already done the first 3 rows, okay, because the negative stitch part doesn't start until row 4 when you already have some X's. So for the negative stitch, if you're just looking at any chart that doesn't have any mention of the negative stitch, you can just see, is there a back loop only single crochet above an X, above a front loop? Then you work the negative stitch. So here we have an X down below in row 3. That means on top of it, we're going to work our negative stitch. Then here we're going to work just a front loop only double crochet. Here we have a single crochet, but it's above an X, so it's our negative stitch. Here, X, negative stitch. Here's a single crochet, but it's not above an X, so that's just a back loop only single crochet. Okay, here's an X, negative stitch, X, negative stitch, front loop double crochet, X means a negative stitch. So here we have a lot of negative stitches in this row number 4. I do, in the Gingerbread Cow, have a chart that has these triangles that mark where you're going to put the negative stitch. But if you're just looking at any old chart, make sure you place your negative stitch above the X's, okay? And when you look at your work, you can just see where your X's are, because here, there's a double crochet. That means you are going to be working your negative stitch right here. Here for stitch number 6, you're doing a back loop only single crochet, but as you can see, it's not above an X. So there you can just see here, it's not a double crochet, so you just work a back loop, okay? That's just a little tip on just the visuals looking at your piece. Are you going to do a negative stitch or not? You can just see right there whether or not. So that's just another piece. You can look at the X's and then you can see if there's a double crochet or not. All right, so we're ready for row 4. I'll walk you through this. For row 4, I'm using color B. Let's get the yarn. We are making a slip knot, and just like we're starting a project from fresh. Okay, I'm going to be doing my beginning border stitch. Okay, and then right away we have a negative stitch, right? Negative stitch is where our blank box is, right above our X, okay? So I'm going to try to do this nice and slowly for you so that you see what's going on and that we're all focused. Okay, so to do the negative stitch, many people will do it differently than I do. Maybe theirs looks similar to like a double crochet in the back, but my technique uses less yarn and it still makes a beautiful reversible pattern. So what I do is I start by going through the back loop, like you're just doing a back loop, only single crochet. Go through the back loop, but then flip your work, and here you have the brown back loop, okay? The back loop from that row 2 rows below. like so. So then I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop, but just through one of those loops, so just through the brown loop. So now we still have a brown, white, brown. 3 loops on our hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 of those loops, and then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. Okay, so that way on the front side, it looks just like a back loop only single crochet. But then when we flip it around, you can see it kind of pulled up the yarn. So that's kind of works as the double crochet in it-ish, all right? Because brown here on the back, and then the reverse of that is white. Okay, that's how we get the reverse image. Okay, then our next stitch is an X, which is just the basic front loop only double crochet, where we're going to yarn over and drop down and catch that front loop from 2 rows below, like any regular mosaic crochet pattern. Okay, now we have 2 more blank boxes on top of X's, so those are our 2 negative stitches. So we get a chance to practice more negative stitches. Okay, so you're going to go through the back loop like you would normally, but then flip your work back and find the corresponding back loop of the color B, so same color. Okay, I'm going to yarn over and just pull through that first loop, and now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through those final 2. Okay, let's practice that again with the next stitch. You're going to insert your hook through the back loop, flip your work over, and find the back loop 2 rows below. Then you're going to pull up a loop just through that first loop. Sorry, the focus sucks on here. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, then our next stitch is just a back loop only single crochet on top of a back loop single crochet. So not a negative stitch here, just a regular back loop only single crochet. And then since we're doing a mirror image, you might already guessed by now, but we have 2 negative stitches and then an X. Okay, so 2 more negative stitches. Back loop, flip it up, find the corresponding back loop of color B. Pull through 1 loop, pull through 2 loops, and pull through 2. 1 negative stitch. Here's the next. This focus is awful. I hope that you are understanding what I'm doing here. If you're having issues, you can leave a comment below and I will try to get back to you ASAP. Okay, this is our X. And then here we have another blank box on top of an X. So that is a negative stitch. Okay, then our last stitch here is my ending border stitch. Okay, and that is row 4. Now when you flip it over, you can see that here we have this brown group here. When we flip it across, it's because we have this white group right here. So it's reversible. Whatever you see that's like white double crochets, you can see that on the back. And it doesn't look like a double crochet like it does in the front because I'm using less yarn and it's just going to be kind of more flat in the back. But that's how I do it. If you want to do it, use more yarn and make it look more like a double crochet in the back. There's other tutorials here on the internet for that. But I think this is an easy way and I love it. So I'll show you row 5 as well so you can get the hang of it. But basically by now, hopefully you kind of understand the gist of it and that you're able to take things from here. I'll show you row 5. Okay. Add a slip knot. We're going to do our beginning border stitch, an X, then a negative stitch. Okay. Okay, the beginning border stitch. My yarn ends are getting in the way. Does that ever happen to you? Okay, then we start with an X here. Okay, then this is where our negative stitch is. So insert your hook through the back loop and flip it over and find the back loop of color A, 2 rows below, this white right here. Yarn over and pull through the first loop. We still have 3 loops, right? Now it's white, brown, white. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we have 2 stitches that are just regular back loop only single crochets because there's no X's down here. Okay, then we have an X. So we're going to go right into that stitch. We're always grabbing that front loop of the same color. Okay, 2 regular back loop stitches because there's no X underneath. And you can tell right here, I can't do a negative stitch because there's no double crochet. So we're just doing regular back loop single crochets. Oops. Okay, but here we do have another blank box, but it's on top of an X. So that means we're going to do another, you guessed it, negative stitch. Pull through 1 loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then an X right here. Okay, then an ending border stitch. Fasten off, and there you have it, row 5. You can really start to see the color form because here is the white on the front, little clumps of white, like so. And that is how you can turn just about any simple overlay mosaic crochet chart into a negative pattern. Okay, as you go along, you'll see that the pattern really just takes off, just like my mosaic gingerbread blanket. If you would like to get this chart and the chart for the gingerbread blanket that has the negative stitches already mapped out for you, like in this chart, then go ahead and purchase the Gingerbread Cal ebook, and it has instructions and all the charts for the negative stitch as well. So just keep practicing and we'll finish off our swatch. Okay, that is the end of row 11 for this chart. As you can see in the front, we have, it's the full chart here. When we flip it over, we have the reverse image, just about. As you see up here, down here we have the brown and then the white. Here we just have white. We don't have another brown and then a white. So I tend to add 2 extra rows on to the patterns when I do the negative stitch, so that on the back it really does even it out and this doesn't get lost in the process. So those 2 rounds are not included in this free chart here, but I did include them here on the chart that includes the negative stitches. Okay, so let me just show you. If the pattern isn't specifically for a negative stitch and you don't have these 2 extra rows on the top, to even out the back side, to kind of catch up the back side with the front side. Generally what you're going to do is with your color B, for the next row after that, you're going to be doing single crochets all the way across, and you're going to work the negative stitch where the negative stitch makes sense. Okay, so like right here, we're going to do row 12 with color B, and we're going to do single crochets all the way across, like back loop only single crochets. But like here above the X, we're going to do a negative stitch, and here it's empty, so we just do a regular back loop only single crochet. Here we're going to do a negative stitch, negative, back loop. Okay, so it's single crochet stitches all the way across, but work the negative stitches where they make sense. Then for row 13, we're going to be working X's all the way across. It's going to be front loop only double crochets. Okay, and that'll kind of catch us up, and I'll show you here when we're finished. Okay, we don't even really need to look at the chart for this. For these 2 rows, you can if you want, but like I said, there's not really a chart to follow if you're just going off of a regular chart. Okay, here we have a double crochet, so we know our single crochet needs to be a negative stitch. Single crochet. Okay. Then this is just a single crochet here. There's no double crochet, no X. So we just do a regular back loop only single crochet. These next 2 are double crochet stitches, so we're going to be doing our negative stitch. Negative stitch. And here's just a regular back loop only single crochet. There's 2 more X's, so negative stitch. Negative stitch. Back loop only. Negative stitch. So you just put the negative stitches where they make sense. Otherwise you do back loop only single crochet, ending border stitch to end it off. Oh, I'm just losing my yarn here. Okay, so now on the back, that looks pretty good. We just need to add the white here, and we want to do double crochet stitches so that we cover up this brown row. Okay, we like to see the brown in the back, we just don't like to see it in the front, so we're going to cover it up with our front loop only double crochets. So we're just going to do X's all the way across, okay, except for our beginning and ending border stitches. Okay, so front loop only, front loop only double crochet all the way across, and we'll see what this looks like in the end. Fasten off. Okay, and there you have it. Now generally this front looks right all the way across, and then when we flip it to the back, it matches as well. So we got our white, white, brown, brown, and then the pattern, white, white, pattern in the middle. If you don't like this flap that appears here, just know that in the next rows you can use my anchor stitch tutorial to help you out a bit with that. So what did you guys think of that tutorial on the negative stitch? Does yours look anything like mine? Why don't you take a picture of it and post it in the Juniper and Oaks Crochet Community Facebook group and show off your work. If you've got any questions about it, leave a comment below. But, you know, on second thought, leave your questions in the Crochet Community Facebook group, and the people in there will be happy to answer it for you. If I don't get back to you right away, someone else in there will. They know all about mosaic crochet. Some of them love this negative stitch. Leave your pictures and any questions that you have in that Facebook group. Take it with mosaic swatch so that people can find it easier. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this video with a crocheter who you think needs to learn this reversible mosaic crochet technique. Let's spread the word and continue to create beautiful blankets like this. To get more information on the mosaic gingerbread blanket and the crochet along, follow the links and you can make it. Okay, you guys, happy crocheting. You're the best. Talk to you later.